Great news, everybody. Some of the biggest players for the Democratic fundraising from November 2016, they're back in Washington and they're working hard to make sure that your voice is heard on key legislation. Some of Hillary Clinton and the DNC's biggest fundraisers, some of whom raised hundreds of thousands of dollars, they've turned themselves into prominent lobbyists in Washington, and they've wasted no time going after the Republican agenda by... Wait, they're actually supporting the Republican agenda? That's right. The elites of the left are essentially the same elites on the right. According to a report from The Intercept last week, these people have gone to work lobbying on behalf of companies like AT&T, Comcast, New York Life, and United Health. Take Steve Elmendorf. He raised over $300,000 for Hillary's campaign. And you have Heather Podesta. She brought in over $400,000, and they are working to undo the Obama administration, their rule that required financial planners to act in their clients' best interests instead of simply, crapping on people for profits. Elmendorf, he's pulling double duty, working to help United Health undo key portions of the Affordable Care Act. He's helping the Republicans pass their terrible legislation. Several other prominent fundraisers, they're working to fight net neutrality practices. And of course, we already know the Democratic Party has a love affair with Goldman Sachs, of course. But perhaps the worst of the defections are donors that are now throwing extreme amounts of money into the McCain Institute. Yes, the Republican Senator John McCain's foundation. The Rothschilds, the company Teneo, and yes, even George Soros is giving McCain money after being huge left-wing donors. Look, I'm not saying this to rail on Hillary or her campaign, but if you think for 1 minute that there's a significant difference between the corporate Democrats and the corporate Republicans, then you're mistaken. Trump ran and won on preying on America's fears of these corporate overlords. Think about that. People are so afraid of the corporately owned government that they elected a billionaire, an unhinged billionaire, and all he did was simply give more of the government to corporate interests. But I guess that's the point. Even when we think we're fighting against the things that are ruining our country, we're simply perpetuating them. Most, not all, but most of our elected officials just don't give a damn about what's best for you, the American people. Sure, they're going to raise hell in front of the cameras in town halls, and they're going to vote fiercely on party line bills. But ultimately, we're the ones that are going to still get screwed. We've completely lost control of our government. Democrat or Republican, these guys are fighting to protect the rights of special interest groups, not the populace. They're fighting to protect banks, defense contractors, chemical companies, insurance companies, you name it, but they're not fighting for you. Sure, again, these two sides are going to argue that they're making a difference, that they're going to give you better health care or tax reforms. But the whole while, we're going to end up with watered-down solutions that don't really change much. Meanwhile, the rich are going to keep getting richer, and we're going to be left with the burden. And that's the real problem. If we lived in this alternate universe where Hillary won the presidency, we could still be looking at net neutrality vanishing. The ACA would be neutered, and big banks would still be deregulated. The only difference is that Clinton would have surrounded her policy moves with a handful of popular left-leaning speech. Trump and Clinton are the same entree. The only difference is the party is a different side dish. But this is it, corporate politicians. I hope that the American people are going to start to see behind the curtain. We can only hope that we are able to stand up to these corporate Democrats and corporate Republicans and enact change swiftly before more damage is done.
If you like this video, make sure that you like, comment, and share, and most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you want to help support Ring of Fire, go to patreon.com/TheRingOfFire, become a monthly patron to help support independent progressive media.